This is without a doubt going to be one of the best rides in the UK when it opens. And if you don't know what this ride is, it's the brand new Intamin Gyroswing ride coming to Blackpool Pleasure Beach Resort in 2026 called Aviktas. And considering I've been on this ride before, not that exact one, but I'll explain. I can tell you this is going to be an absolutely insane ride, and I'm so happy it's coming to the UK. So today we are going to talk all about Aviktas, what we've seen so far of it, and of course review the ride using previous experiences so I can give you a good idea of what it's going to be like to ride when no one's actually ridden it yet. Be sure to watch till the end and be sure to subscribe to the channel as well if you haven't already. Oh, and merch is still available to purchase if you would like to. Link in the description. Either way, if you have been living under a rock, which, oh god, some of you might be, or you might not have just kept up with the news, Aviktas is going to be a ride. All swing riders really high up on the Blackpool skyline right next to the big one, and well, the easiest way to explain it to you is by showing you the animation that they released when they first spoke about this ride. This one right here, and as you can see, it swings up 138 feet tall at around a 120-degree angle at its maximum height, and yeah, this thing is just insane to look at in these images and animations. And just the way it swings alongside one of the UK's tallest roller coasters, that being the big one, which isn't the biggest one anymore. This new ride will be the biggest of its kind in the UK, so at least they've got that record to keep in before Thorpe Park build a 1 foot taller version of this as well. And from those animations, it does look incredibly tall and incredibly intimidating, as we found out when they actually installed that ride structure, because various people visiting the park, including myself towards the end of the season, got to see this insane looking structure towering above that area of the park. And if you've been to Blackpool in the past and you're not sure where this ride is going, it was originally rumored to go in place of PlayStation Launchpad, until that got refurbished, so it's now been moved to where the Bowlerdrome arcade was, opposite the River Caves, that building that used to have so much theming along it, and then they took all that off and it was just a white shed. That arcade with the bowling and the droming has been completely knocked down and is now the place for this brand new ride, including that car park that was down sort of the side of the big one, down in that little bit. That's gone as well. And yeah, so this thing looks huge, and especially up against where like the Big Dipper and stuff is and the airtime hills on the big one, it just looks massive in real life. And that isn't even at its maximum swinging height, because we might as well cut to the chase. This ride has now started testing, and Pleasure Beach did actually release this video from inside the park showing it testing and going full height, and it is absolutely insane. I'm going to say that a lot this video, I'm sorry. But obviously that testing video, we may as well talk about it in some detail because it's a very exciting milestone. As you can see, we start off with like an aerial view of the ride and how tall it is, especially opposite the River Caves, which I really hope they clean up because it looked a bit dirty in that. And as you can see, the floor has lowered down. We've got that nice little sort of covered area that I'm assuming you'll be bashed into before you get on the ride, and then it starts swinging. And yeah, I mean, look at the structure against the big one. It's not too far off those hills. And yeah, it's not even started swinging yet. Look at this from underneath. It's huge as it starts swinging very slowly. Of course, that disc will spin as well as you swing. And yeah, here it goes. Keeps going and up. Not to the maximum height just yet. And it's, look how big that is from below. And then up against the Big Dipper as well. There it goes. I don't even think that's the maximum height still. There's a person up there. Can you see that person up there? What the hell? I'd love to see the footage. I think he's actually filming it. I'd love to see... Hello, Seagull. I'd love to see what that guy's filming, if he is, because that view must be mad. Swinging so high in the sky. I think this is around the maximum height now. As you can see, look at that. That is insane. There it goes again, I'm saying insane. And then I think it starts to slow down after that. Hopefully the ride cycle's a little bit longer than that. And I don't think the ride just yet is spinning to its full potential, but that just looks so, so good. And I know you might be thinking, if you've been on the likes of Cyclonator at Paultons Park or Maelstrom at Drayton Manor, oh, you know, Aviktas, like, it looks cool, it's a bigger version, is it really going to be that good? Well, let me talk to you about this properly, because like I said at the start, I have technically been on this ride, just in a different place. And that doesn't mean Aviktas is an old ride that's being moved to another park and Blackpool's receiving it. No. It's just a very stock model of ride that Intamin do, but there are various other gyro swings of this size and magnitude around the world, and I've been lucky enough to ride one of them. That being Loki at Liseberg in Sweden, and we're gonna watch a video of it right here. Look at that, there it is going full swing. Around the same height, it probably is the same height as Aviktas, and you can see it swinging back and forth. Why are we fading to black every time? Look at the POV. It does look like you're going upside down when you get to those peaks. And there it is from the side. Yeah, this ride is just insane. And I'll tell you for why. Because of these things. Okay, it just cut away. Nice. Not the lowering platform, not the actual, I don't know, his shoes or anything like that. Those restraints on the ride. We know Aviktas has these same restraints because it's the same model of ride. And also we've seen it with our very own eyes. So we know it's going to have these. But when you go on the likes of Cyclonator and Maelstrom and all these other smaller swings like that, you of course have the over-the-shoulder restraints, which are very bulky and they sort of get in your way and you don't feel as free because when you're swinging, you sort of just feel your shoulders go up into it and it's, I can't really put my hands around. These rides with those restraints, especially for someone like me who's quite tall, I'm actually 400 feet in the air. Those over-the-shoulder restraints on those other rides are very uncomfortable. But as you can see, as much as there is an actual bar going over your shoulders, because it's such a small bar and it's quite outwards from where your shoulders are actually positioned, like you can see it here, they're not even over this guy's shoulders. That is how those restraints sit on you, so it is a lap bar restraint instead of an over the shoulder one. Weirdly, it still comes over your shoulders when you put it down, but it's not, it's a bit confusing. Basically, the main portion of that restraint is at your lap. There you go. And that is genuinely the difference between those other rides I mentioned and Aviktas, and why I think this will be the best flat ride in the UK and one of the best rides in the UK, because you genuinely sit on that ride swinging back and forth feeling so free. It is unreal. Poster wise, you go on the likes of, say, Saw the Ride at Thorpe Park or these other ones that have those over the shoulders and you don't feel as free as you do on the likes of Hyperia. Even at Blackpool, going upside down on the likes of Icon, you just have so much freedom when it comes to lap bars. These ones especially, so it's going to be an insane ride. And then you start spinning. You can see how much it's spinning compared to what Aviktas was in its testing footage. Spinning a lot more already as it swings very slowly upwards. Loki in this one gets very close to that wooden coaster. Look how close that is. And it swings so incredibly tall. Of course, the same height that Aviktas will reach. And yeah, I can't really review this ride with words because the whole time I was just like, oh my god. Oh, those are words, aren't they? But I was just so shocked at how good this thing was when I went on it. And you can see how high up you get, the amount of airtime as well. Oh, that's an odd camera angle. But yeah, it is going to be an absolutely mental ride. And genuinely, I've been on quite a few flat rides around the world. This one is still my favourite one. I mean, don't get me wrong, when it comes to the UK flat rides, we have some decent ones. You've, of course, got Toxicator, which opened last year. You've got some really good drop towers like Detonator, shot towers like PlayStation, And sure, an Intamin Gyroswing isn't the most intense ride you'll ever experience, and it probably won't make you feel really sick to the stomach, unless you really hate spinning and swinging. Then it will. But genuinely, I know everyone is really hyped for this ride, but I don't think the hype is anywhere near what it should be, because going off of my experience on this ride at Liseberg, this is easily, it could be one of my favourite rides in the UK, if not my favourite, because I don't even think it's just the lap bar. I think it's like the sense of scale and the fact that we're going to be able to go on this and swing out and see the entire sea over the entire park, and seeing the Blackpool Tower in the distance as well. I go on Launchpad quite a lot just to see the view, and the view you're going to get off the top of this, even if you are spinning and swinging the whole time, so you might be a little bit distracted, is going to make this even better. And I'm sure Blackpool will do a good job of stylizing it and maybe even theming it slightly to make it fit that Aviktas name and theme. And I just really can't wait for this ride to open, and it is currently scheduled for a spring 2026 opening. I can't give you the exact date because I don't know it, but if I had to put a guess in, then Blackpool recently have been opening things in April or May, so I would say probably around that time. Only a month or so to go until it opens. Will you be there for opening day when it does? Let me know in the comments, and also if you've been on an Intamin Gyroswing of this size, let me know how you found that as well in the comments, because much like me, I'm sure you enjoyed it very much, and I'm sure Aviktas will be the exact same. Let's just hope the wind from the sea doesn't make it close every time we visit. Keep an eye out tomorrow for a This Past Week in Theme Parks. I'm pushing it back because so much news has happened, including this testing and even another new ride testing for the UK. Probably the biggest ride we're getting this year. Lots of testing going on, so stay tuned for that tomorrow by subscribing if you haven't already. And with that being said, see you tomorrow or whenever. Bye!